My name is Maria Törn. I work as a trainer at Cykli. I mostly teach waste management and circular economy related topics. And today's subject is waste advising. In Finland, waste advising is done on many different levels. In fact, it is included in the legislation so that all municipal waste management companies are not only responsible for the municipal waste management, but are also obliged to arrange the waste advising in their area. This can be implemented in different ways. Many waste management companies do their waste advising themselves, but it is also common to outsource it to reuse centers, private waste companies, or associations. This means that most full-time waste advisors work at waste management companies for the cities or municipalities or for reuse centers. In other organizations where waste advising is done, it will probably cover only a small part of the job description. Waste advising at schools, children's daycare, as well as for households, for example, housing companies, is mostly done free of cost, whereas companies and organizations mostly will be charged a fee for the service. The idea is that by educating children and youth and integrating best practices at school and daycare, they will also introduce good practices to their families at home. Waste advisors don't just educate on waste sorting. A huge part of their job description is to raise environmental awareness, to influence people's shopping behavior and consuming habits, and to enhance waste prevention, as well as minimize use of hazardous substances, this way contributing to lesser amounts of hazardous waste. A waste advisor needs to have extensive knowledge, not just on waste sorting and waste management issues, but also needs to have good understanding of environmental issues as well as environmental and waste legislation. Good communication skills and presentation skills will also be very useful. There are countless tools and methods that can be used for waste advising. It is important to choose the method according to the target group. Typical target groups are small children, school children and youths, students, grown-ups, elderly people, households, companies, NGOs, housing companies, and so on and so on. The audience can be big or small, young or elderly, and many of the tools and methods can be suitable for various groups, but sometimes the degree of difficulty or the depth of the information can be adapted or must be adapted according to the audience. The methods used in waste advising are also many and various. The work of a waste advisor can be very versatile. Waste advising can be done face-to-face, over the internet or on the telephone. Additionally, the job description includes preparing the material for each specific advisory situation, also taking the target group into consideration. Waste advising can be in form of a lecture, lesson or presentation, or just delivering facts, but it can also be more participating, such as games, competitions or drama, or excursions to a waste treatment site. The important thing is to catch the interest of your audience. Of course, when the interaction is direct, it is easier to be perceptive to the audience. By choosing the best advisory methods for your audience and for the situation, you can steer your target group towards smarter environmental decision-making and sustainable actions. What waste advisors often find most challenging in their work is how to make sure that the message is received and understood by the audience. Social media is here to stay, and can be very effective for waste advising when skillfully used. Today, social media is present in our everyday life, and obviously it also presents us with a channel for reaching people in educational purposes. Smart use of social media gives a strong foundation for environmental advising. The special features of social media include that material is easy to publish, the content spreads immediately online and will stay there forever. Of course, this comes with pros and cons. The pros include advising can be easy and effective. It does not require a specific time or place. For example, a video can be watched anytime and over again. Cons are, for example, there is an information overflow and the challenge is to distinguish oneself. Information security and responsibility is also important to keep in mind. Also, it is important to take into consideration that technology evolves and the facts may change, which in turn means that the material may have to be updated. And then, of course, is the information available for everyone? For example, the elderly? Participating methods are popular and often quite effective. Learning by doing helps us remember things. Learning is often most effective when it involves an activity. A popular and effective method in waste advising is when it is integrated with doing something together. It can be a game, a competition, or even drama. In Finland, one of the most popular methods is a sorting game or competition, which can be played with real, cleaned waste, or alternatively with picture cards and waste bins for sorting. The task is to sort the waste or the cards into the correct waste bins, and when all is sorted, the bins are checked to see what was well sorted and what possibly went wrong. If some wastes seem more complicated to sort right, it is often good to end the game with a discussion, for example, how the different waste fractions are treated and the importance of sorting. The game can be played using just a few fractions or all waste fractions. One example can also be found in the link in the material. This material is in Finnish, but the picture cards in the end are really quite good. This kind of sorting game works for all age groups. In a recycling lottery, all prizes are second-hand and every lot is a winner. Exchanging things is a great way to prevent waste and to lengthen the lifespan of most products. Bring your own commodities you have no use for and swap with someone who might have something that you need and who might need what you have. This can be made into an event, a marketplace. Obviously, this isn't suitable for bio-waste, but almost all other commodities. For children, it could be toys or books. For grown-ups, almost anything. Books, clothes, tools, kitchen appliances, and so on. Quizzes can be a fun and also an effective advisory method. Themes for this kind of quiz can be environmental awareness, sorting waste, waste treatment methods, or knowledge on environmental impacts. The degree of difficulty, of course, needs to be adjusted to the target group. Advising composting suits very well as an activity, and composting can even be done indoors using worms. Also for children, composting can be interesting as well as a visible way to actually see and experience how the waste decomposes. Composting advice or lectures are often arranged in the springtime when people start doing some gardening and want to treat their garden waste, and these are mostly quite popular. These can be held at housing companies or libraries, but also at public events such as markets or fairs. Lectures or presentations are maybe the most traditional forms of teaching and advising. Waste or waste sorting advice can be held as a lecture, a lesson, a presentation, or a bulletin. The duration may also vary depending on the topic and the audience. One benefit is the possibility for discussion and interaction. But on the other hand, probably only those who really are interested will attend. Many waste companies in Finland have created material meant for waste advising. For example, stories that can be read to children at daycare, also material in form of booklets with fun exercises and tasks for kids are popular. Waste advising can also be carried out where the people already are spending time, such as shopping centers, marketplaces, different kinds of public events, and so on. In these situations, it is possible to reach out to all people, even those who aren't really very interested or who wouldn't attend a lecture or some other waste advising event. When bio-waste collection was introduced in Finland, waste advising was made by knocking on doors and giving personal advice to all households involved, which is very time-consuming and expensive. In addition to this, information was handed out at shopping centers and at public events, which collected people. Also, bio-waste bags free of charge and sorting guides were handed out at these events. Different kinds of guides and materials is the foundation of effective waste advising. Material can be made for different target groups and be in paper format or online. I believe you have material on waste management and waste sorting also in Russia, but here are some links to waste advising material translated to Russian from Finnish companies and one Estonian. Especially the Lennu guide might be useful, as it also has some composting advice. Many municipal waste companies in Finland have created a company mascot to use for waste advisory purposes, especially in their advisory materials for children. This can make the topic of sorting and waste management easier approachable and more fun. For example, Ekokymppi has a squirrel called Kurre Kainulainen.